Hey traders, welcome back to another lesson. So yesterday one of our members asked me about when do you know you should be scaling up, and that's probably a very important topic as well, because I don't think I've covered this topic before, or maybe I did, but what's consistency like? This is a very subjective topic. Some of you may define consistency as how much you make in terms of percentage. To me, if today you're looking to scale but you don't want to utilize mainly your personal capital, you don't want to pull out all of your own money out of the pocket, then the only way to scale is probably prop firms. How do you scale? Of course, get bigger funds, get bigger account sizes, and then you make money, you reinvest into personal capital. That's how you eventually scale up to become a full-time trader. But go back to the topic of how do you know when you are consistent or not. I don't like to use your profit to measure your consistency. To me, I'm more of a big fan of drawdown management. And if all of you may realize, if you look at some of the better performer inside the community, it could be Janelle, it could be Kang, it could be Horace, it could be Darren, it could be Atlas, it could be anyone here. The key thing is this: when you're looking to scale up your capital, especially through prop firms, right? It is all about how do you manage your drawdown. And that's why whenever I do the trace review, whenever I go through a journal, I always say the way you manage your drawdown will determine how far you go. Because everyone can make money in the market, right? I can make money, you can make money. Sometimes maybe any of you, JL could be hunting a 10-hour setups, Robert could be hunting a 15-hour setups, whatever. But the key thing is just, what if you go through drawdowns right now? Because prop firms, they have such a limited, such a tight drawdown rules that's actually restricting your trading performance. Essentially, it will restrict your trading style in some way. Unless you risk really less, let's say you risk 0.2, you risk 0.5% per trade. Obviously, you got a lot more buffer. But if you are on a standard 1% risk kind of trader, imagine 10% drawdown, 8% drawdown. You're only 8 to 10 trades away from blowing up the account, to be honest. So if let's say today you get your funded account, you lost 5 trades, you're down 5%. Halfway there, you lost confidence. It's quite normal. So if you're looking for the exact timing to think, oh, I want to buy a larger challenges, or I wanna really scale up my trading game, I want to up the lot sizes on your personal capital, whatever, then you have to measure the way you manage your drawdown. Just go back, study the way you manage your drawdown, and really see, do you have a patterns of a really beautiful equity curve on your account for the past 3 to 6 months. To me, at least a minimum 3 months, because normally in every single year, right, you will always have 1 to 2 bigger drawdowns period, as in it goes beyond 5%. All right. So the way you manage the drawdown will ultimately determine how good you are at the prop firm game, because prop firm game is all about managing the drawdown, because they have such a tight drawdown rules, 10%, 8%. If you don't learn how to manage the drawdown, how can you even possibly scale up your capital? All right. So first thing first, go study your equity curve and really see, when I go through drawdown, am I able to really stick to the system without any sort of emotional attachment? Because most traders, they crumble after facing some drawdown. Most of you know, even if you're an experienced trader, drawdown is the only thing that will determine how consistent you are. Because when you're on a winning streaks, who cannot stick to the rules? Everyone, when they win, they will be able to stick to the rules, right? Just like me, just like you. Because you're on a cloud nine, you're super happy, super excited. Every day you wake up, I'm on a 5 trade winning streaks. You're super happy. But the key thing is, what if today you lost 8 trades in a row? Are you still able to wake up, go in front of the computer, do the exact same routine, go through the boring journaling process, every single thing, and just stick to the plan? Not many traders can do that, and that's why there's so little traders that eventually succeed in the trading space. So again, measure drawdown. Alright, see the way you do your drawdown. If you think your drawdown is too steep, sometimes let's say you identify that, hey, my worst drawdown is 15%, and of course you cannot trade profit, because if you go trade profit with this kind of drawdown sort of a risk parameter, you'll most likely blow up the account. So just make a bit of tweaks here and there. So you can ask yourself, okay, how can I utilize more trade management to reduce my drawdown? How can I utilize maybe skill outs to reduce my drawdown? How can I perhaps reduce my sizing if I don't want to affect my any of my existing system because it's working? It's just that the swing's a little bit wild. Then you can perhaps reduce your risk per trade, average risk per trade. So these are just different things that will help you. So the key thing is just, how do you manage your drawdown? Alright, if you already have 3 to 6 months of very healthy pattern, very professional, really confident in dealing with drawdown, then it's probably time for you to skill up. Alright, because consistency to me is not about how many percent you make every single month on average. It's all about every time when you go through drawdown, how do you handle it? Can you handle it with full optimism, or do you every time face drawdown just start crumpling, you overtrade, then it will result on a even steeper equity curve, and you don't want that to happen. So that's it for the lesson. I hope all of you learned something new, and I'll talk to you later.